Okay, Kwaje, you have a question?
But I was saying that this particular slide, can you put it in a group?
Yeah, I've shared it in the group already. How many of you have seen it?
Oh, I haven't seen it. That's why.
Okay, I'm sure somebody will forward it to you, or after here you can text me or forward it to you. Okay, so let's continue. I was saying that for every country to analyze the question you asked me whether we are borrowing yet our tax, I mean, we are not improving as a country. You see, I was talking about GDP to debt ratio. Anytime a country's GDP, I mean, you all know GDP to debt ratio is high. It means even though we assume that your GDP rate is high, your debt ratio is still your debt is still high. It means your economy is not strong enough because it's like you're paying somebody to what? To pay another person. You're borrowing to pay another person. That is how economists see it. However, if the GDP to debt ratio is quite low, it's that the debt is low. We assume you're going up. I said America is growing, but if you look at the debt ratio of USA to the GDP ratio of USA, I think it should tell you. Okay, go and look for the GDP ratio to GDP ratio to debt ratio for Ghanaians or for Ghana. Then go and look for the debt ratio and GDP ratio for USA, and the difference will tell you. Some of the countries see that the debt ratio is very close. Some you see that yes, they are growing, but they are growing to expand and make the GDP more stronger than just that. Some of yes, we borrow, but the GDP is not strong enough. You get it? Instead of making the GDP give the debt more gap, they are kind of very close. Go and look at our GDP and go and look at our debt. Now, in 2007, something happened in Ghana. Ghana, we went for HIPIC. What is HIPIC? HIPIC means highly indebted poor country. If you go over there, it means you are poor. It was led by Kufuor's administration. And what happened is that in a country who is poor and you go to IMF or when you go to HIPIC, at that time, Ghana is a low-level country. So they gave us what you call tax-free or debt forgiveness. You only get this thing from here. If nobody will teach you and tell you this, they gave what we call debt forgiveness, so it was free for us. But what happened was that later, after they forgave us, or Kufuor went at Tamisa's came, Ghana, we were not owing any country. Then we started growing again. You see, at that point, we expanded our GDP. So we moved from low-level country to middle-level country. At that point, we assume that you are becoming stronger. So there's nothing like debt forgiveness. That is why Ghanaians, we are still suffering. So the best place to go is the IMF. That is why we are going to IMF. We can't go to HIPIC again. Okay, let's look at something here. Let's look at something here. So look at these variables. We are going to explain to you how balance of payment balances. Now we have these exports, imports, investment, savings, government expenditure, and net taxes. Okay, we all know that no net export, right? Imports, sorry, exports minus what? Imports. Good. The private sector, we are going to look at just the savings and investment. So S stands for the savings and I for investment. Government sector. So this is a national level, or let's say international level. This is a private firm. Okay. We are going to look at the government side too. The government side, we are looking at what comes into the government as a revenue. You understand? And what goes out as government expenditure. So NT minus G. So this part is at international level. This part is a private sector, and this part is the government level. Okay. And we assume when you get to level 200, those of you that the person hold up you, they are going to further explain to you. They are going to explain the role of the S and I to you better. But for here, for national accounting to balance, we assume that the total output of any economy should be equal to its consumption plus This whole thing is the GDP. Do you recall? This whole thing is equal to GDP. Good. Should be equal to the real output, should be equal to the GDP, and should be equal to
Hello, please, I
okay.
can hear again,
Okay,
Barrister.
sorry. Somebody was calling me. I have to hang the call. So rearrange. Sorry, we are saying that for national output, we have for for the whole economy, we look at the real output, which is the Y, should be equal to the GDP. Okay, to the GDP, and then consumption plus savings and the net export. If you look at this computation, this is they group the like terms. I mean, they brought the C here, ignore the Y. This is simple mathematics. Ignore the Y. They brought the C here and they did some rearrangement. Okay, so at the end of the day, what goes into the country is equal to minus what goes out of the country minus what comes to the country. Savings is equal to S. Sorry, the private sector is equal to the X minus the Y minus I. So this part represents the net exports. This part represents the internal part that government used to generate revenue, how much is saved and how much is being invested. Okay. Please, any question? Okay, let me take it again.
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. You have a question?
Now you say you're taking it again. That's why I just said
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
Okay. So I was saying that beside these variables, we want to look at the relationship that exists among the GDP and other things that makes the whole economy balance. So I said we are going to look at the X. The X look at what comes into the country, what goes into the country, the investment, the savings, the government, and the net taxes. What are net taxes? Net taxes are government revenue, like government revenues. Okay. Now with a B, we're looking at balances. How does this thing balances with this? So let's come to the relationship among them. We all know this, right? Good. So real output is equal to the this C stands for consumption. Consumption plus investment plus government plus export minus import should be equal to consumption plus savings and net exports. Okay, and I was saying that ignore this Y and rearrange everything. Now when we rearrange, you could see X minus I here, right? S minus I, sorry, X minus M, that we know is the net export. You can see S minus I, which is the what? The private sector. And you can see the net. This one, they're just trying to prove to you how they got this. Okay. Somebody's hand is up. This is just a proof of how they got this.
Barrister,
Yes.
Hello, Barrister.
can I talk?
Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah, please. With the rearrangement of the equation, then does it mean we are equating the x minus m by the rest? You see, we could.
Someone is also asking a question. Let me take that question too. Okay, I'll take note of your question. Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, Barrister, why is it that the equation, before arranging it, why is that the equation, that's the Y, what is the same as the GDP, is equal to the C plus the consumption plus consumption plus saving plus the net tax?
Okay. Now, let me explain to you. In the economy, we assume that what comes as income is what people consume. So what comes to you? Do you remember the circular flow diagram, the two-sector model? Or this is a four-sector model. In level 1, they're teaching only two-sector model where goods go here, goods go here, goods go to this person. No. When you go to 200, they're going to teach you even the five-sector model. Okay. This is just a four sector model that involves government. The investment stands for firms. The consumption here stands for what? The individuals. And the X minus M stands for the foreign part of the market. So we want to look at how the relationship that exists among them. And they gave us this equation. Okay, so they are trying to just equate this equation among themselves. Now this Y here, they gave us this question. This Y here stands for real output, P stands for real GDP, or sorry, P stands for GDP, P stands for national income. This Y, that's the real meaning. It stands for total output, it stands for real GDP or total GDP. It stands for the total income too. So total income of every country should be equal to its consumption plus investment, should be equal to its GDP here, and should be equal to what's this GDP, we know is expenditure, right? Using the expenditure approach, we all know is expenditure approach. And this one is like the revenue, okay? Or let me say the economy. I said the economy, the income part, C plus S plus NT. This part is the income part. This part is the expenditure part and should be equal to real output. So what you receive as your salary is how much you spend. Good. So we are just trying to build a relationship between them. So let's Y is equal to this whole thing. I said put the Y aside and equate the GDP to this whole thing and try rearranging them. You can see that this C will cancel this C. So you're going to have this X minus M standing, which is equal to X minus M standing is equal to X minus, because we're going to move the I here, like how we're having the I here, plus NT minus G. So we have one relationship over here. We have one relationship over here. And we have one relationship over. So we have three relationships among them. So out of this relationship, we have the net exports, which is the first part, X minus M. We have the S minus I, which is the private sector. And we have the NT minus G, which is the government sector. That is all. So in balance of payment, we look at for these three things. So net exports, the private sector, and then the government sector. Please, any questions? So here they give us some values that they told us to compute over here. Okay, I don't know if this one comes in, it's two shifts for you. Exports, imports, investments, savings, government expenditure on goods and services is a G, and the net taxes is the NC. So they can just tell you what is the net exports. Just export minus what? Import. Very, very straightforward. What is the private sector balance? How much is being saved and how much is being what? Invested. S minus I. What is the government sector balance? Government sector balance is the next. So net taxes minus government expenditure. That's all. So this is a work they've given to us, or it's like an assignment. They're asking us, show how the government of Ghana will record each of the following transactions in the balance of payment account and in which component of account. So with this question, if they are asking you this question, some of these questions can come. Yes. So they're asking you that, okay, the balance, we have balance of payments. And balance of payments comprise of what's the financial account and the current account. If you are going to state this, does it fall under financial account or capital account, or it falls under what's called the current account? If it falls under current account, I told you we have four components. Remember, we have the services, we have the trade balances, we have the unilateral transfers, and we have what we call the investments, investment income. So there are four. So under current accounts, there are four subcategories. They want you to analyze. So if I say export of cocoa, I'm going to do just two for you. You go and do the rest. If I say export of cocoa, where does it fall? Export of cocoa, is it under current account or financial account? Yes, anyone?
It falls under the current
account.
Okay.
Current account.
Current account.
Okay.
account.
Okay, thank you. So current account,
Current account.
okay. Current account, which part of current account?
trade balance.
Good. Is it under trade balance? Is it under unilateral transfer? Is it under, yes, you need to explain that one for us. That is
Trade
all.
balance.
Okay, then you
Trade
tell us.
balance.
Okay. Import of coronavirus vaccine. Import. They didn't say free import. So import of coronavirus vaccine. Which file will it for?
Current account.
Current
Okay.
account.
Current
Exactly.
account.
And then Kofabium. Okay.
Current account.
Okay.
Current account.
Okay. It's okay. So you can go in
Credit.
the rest.
Barrister, let's continue with the rest.
Okay. Okay. So going forward, because something exchange rate. What's the dollar to CD rate now? Who can tell me? As economists, we should be following this news. So
1 CD is $9.09.
are you sure? Yesterday when I took it was 10.4 Ghana cedis.
Hey,
10.42.
Exactly.
10.05.
Exactly. Yesterday when I checked, it was around 10.04. They can even tell you to stay this thing. So what is the current inflation rate? Hey, I'm Kodi Indomie. Please mute yourself. Okay, let's continue. I hope you're before eating. Okay.
Oh,
no,
Oh, we got trouble.
no, no.
no.
We did huh?
Only the
Masa Kopa Gandhi. Only
Only-
the
Now, we more
three
5
more.
CD.
it's okay, it's okay. Only the I mean to me. Wow. Wow.
I know.
Let's continue. So, under this topic, we are going to look at the exchange rate. That's why I asked you, what determines the exchange rate? The difference between nominal exchange rates and real exchange rates. In fact, exchange rates is not that popular topic in the cons, but then it's good we learn it. So let's go through it. Okay, what is foreign exchange market? Who has been to the forex bureau to change money, or who has been to those of you who have traveled before? How many of you have seen dollars before? If you've seen the dollar, we have a place where you can go and change your dollar. If you're holding an euro or pound sterling, or even safer, you have a place where you can go and then exchange your money. Okay, that is a point called the foreign exchange market. Those of you who are into online business and other stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Some of you, that is your full-time work. You're always behind a computer. And because I'm to the black market, I was chatting with a woman who was like, any amount you want to exchange, even if it's $1 billion, they'll get it for you. So we call something the foreign exchange market. We have the physical foreign exchange market and then electronic foreign exchange market where you can exchange your dollar. Some people buy dollar on the internet and resell it. How many of you do that kind of business? How many of you?
I do some. I do some.
Okay. So you know what I'm saying? Okay. So you know what I'm talking about.
May I telling lies?
So you know what I'm talking about. We go into the foreign markets, we sell our money, and later we buy, and then later we resell it. That becomes our full-time. There are some people that is their full-time business. Okay. So foreign exchange market is a market in which the currency of one country is exchanged for currency of another. Okay. The foreign exchange market is made up of importers and exporters, banks, especially those who buy and sell currencies. We are looking at Ghana. Our currency is the Ghana cedi. As of 1961, the currency to the dollar rate was $1, $1. Like you said, as of now, the currency to the dollar rate is 10 Ghana cedi, 4 pesos. What is happening? We're going to look at factors that determines the foreign exchange between two countries. Why one country's dollar is stronger and why one country's dollar is also weaker. Okay. The exchange rate is the price at which one currency exchanges for another. So it's the number of units of a domestic currency needed to purchase a unit of a foreign currency. So how much Ghana cedis do I need to get $1? That is the main motive of exchange rates. Okay. So here, this was around 2019. Okay, this ad was made around 2019. So at $1, the Ghana cedi was around 5.4. Can you see the screen? 5.4 in 2019. But in 2022, August, September, the dollar rate is more than 10 Ghana cedis. So whom should we blame?
Akufo-Addo.
Are you sure?
Yes.
we should also blame the that's why into the black market business. Okay,
And we should blame our
currency
the big for
depreciation.
foreign business too much.
Currency depreciation occurs when the exchange rate increases. Good. So if Ghana, looking at what's happening to the American dollar and our currency, it means the American dollar is always appreciating, while our country is what depreciating. So if we need more money, if we need more resources to be able to purchase somebody's own, it means your currency is depreciating, and the other one is what appreciating. So let's quickly go to let's look at two main factors that determine the exchange rates in the economy. Two factors that determine the exchange rates in any economy. We call something the fixed exchange regime and the flexible exchange regime. And in Ghana, what you are more familiar with the flexible. I mean, we allow the dollar and the cedi to fight itself. But if you go to other countries, at first, I don't see any country with a fixed exchange regime. But then at first, they used to what to call that flexible thing. That there used to be a fixed exchange regime that this is the one the central bank has planned, that $1 is equal to this, or one Ghana cedi is equal to this. But now we allow the force of demand and supply to determine how strong the currency is. Okay, please, any question? Any question?
No, please, we can
Okay.
proceed.
So the demand, this is also very crucial. The demand for a foreign currency will depend on why do people demand for other currencies. One, exchange rates. Please write this. Why do people demand for other foreign currencies? One, exchange rates. What is the if of course if I see that the dollar is appreciating, why not? I'll buy the dollar, hold it, and later resell it. Like what some of you are doing. Some of you are contributing factor why our currency is not strong. You go and buy the dollar from the money markets, come and keep it in your wallet, and after some time you go and resell it, making the dollar what more expensive. Okay, interest rates on domestic country and other countries. Now, what is the interest rate on investment? What's the interest? That's what they mean. The interest rate on investment can also cause a foreign currency to be demanded or not. Then expected future exchange rates. This is very common, or this is self-explanatory. It's similar to the exchange rates that I explained at first. That if I'm expecting that the future the dollar will be appreciating, I'll go and buy more now and resell it later. So expected future exchange. Okay. Any question? So the demand is the same as the supply. So factors that determine why people demand for foreign currency is the same factor that determines why people also supply. Of course, if I see that the exchange rate is high, why won't I supply more and gain more? You understand? If I see that the interest rate is high, why won't I supply more and gain more? If I see that the future, the dollar is expected to rise, I'll hold my dollar now and later what resell it. So these are factors. The factors that determine the demand are the same factors that determine the supply. Okay. So what do you mean by the market equilibrium? Market equilibrium is where a foreign demand for foreign currency and the supply of a foreign currency meet, or should I say the exchange rates are the same. Okay. When I scroll down, you're going to understand this one better. So demand and supply of a foreign currency in the foreign exchange market determines the exchange rate. Like I told you, what we are experiencing now is a flexible regime. Flexible regime is when you allow the force of demand and supply for the dollar rate to determine itself. Okay. And when it happens that way, what happens? The foreign currency which is stronger will always be the local currency which is cheaper. So anytime the dollar rate becomes stronger, good. It makes importation, or if you want to export goods into Ghana, very simple. Because you know that the exchange rate is too low for me and it's very cheap in Ghana. Okay, if I want to buy the CDs. I can buy the CDs with my few dollars. I can buy a lot of the CDs with few dollars. So anytime you happen that way, you're going to face what we call trade deficit. People are going to import into your country more than how they export. Okay. So we call something monetary policy. Monetary policy deals with the central bank. Who are the central bank? The Bank of Ghana is a central bank for Ghana. Okay. We all know one lecturer who is our lecturer who is part of the monetary policy committee. He called me, he had been looking for me in his office after the election. He wanted to talk to me, long things. So today I went to see him and we were talking on so many things. Our lecturer, one of our lecturers is part of it. And they sit down and then they negotiate. They agree that this is what's happening because I'm saying monetary policy exchange rates, the dollar to the CD exchange rate and all that, and they sit down and develop policies as a committee that will help fight the increasing foreign currency. So one of our lecturers, Professor Ibo Texan, is part. He's part of that committee. Okay. 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 What is nominal exchange rate versus real exchange rate? The nominal exchange rate measures the relationship between the value of two currencies. Please understand this one very well. I'm going to explain it further. Nominal exchange rate measures the relationship between the value of two currencies, while the real exchange rate measures the relative price of goods and services. Okay, so the nominal you're looking at gives the face value. $1 is equal to what? 10.4 Ghana cedis. So we're looking at the value. Now, with real exchange, you're looking at if I'm holding $5, how many goods and services can it buy? If I'm holding $2, I'm holding 5 Ghana cedi, the same 5 Ghana cedi. How many goods and services can it buy? That's what you mean by the real exchange rate. It's measured the relative price of what goods, and this one measures the value of the two goods. Are we clear? So the nominal measures the relationship between the two currencies, the value of them. So this one has more value than the other one. But the real exchange rate looks out for the goods or the price of it. So my money is $5. Your money is 5 cedi. Can we buy the same food? That's what we're looking at. Okay. So real exchange rate measures the price of domestic goods relative to what? Foreign goods. Yes. Okay. I'm going to look at the last thing about exchange rate. We call it the purchasing power parity. Purchasing power.
But
Yes.
please, can you let the slide that just went come back again? The beginning of the nominal and then the real
You want to write?
exchange rate.
Okay, the nominal exchange rate measures the relationship between the values.
It gets down. And then the nominal.
Okay. Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
So,
thank you.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you. It's okay, I'm done.
Okay, sure. So real exchange rate measure the price of domestic goods relative to foreign goods. Like I said, I have $5. You also have 5 Ghana cedis. Can we buy the same good? That's what I mean by real exchange rate. Okay. Now let's go to what you call the purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity. It's the same, it's similar to the real exchange rate. It means equal value of money, a situation in which money buys the same amount of goods and services in a different currencies. So if I'm holding 5 Ghana cedi and I want to buy sachet water, which is now 50 pesos. Hello, are you following? If I'm holding 1 Ghana cedis and if I want to buy, let's say, Indomie, 5 Ghana cedis, Indomie. If I'm holding $5, can it buy the same quantity or the same amount of Indomie? That's mean by purchasing power parity. Are we good? Who doesn't understand the purchasing power parity? So I'm holding $5. The good costs Then I want to buy, let's say, a laptop. The laptop is $2,000. If I come to Ghana cities, if I'm holding 2,000 Ghana cities, can it buy the same laptop? What mean by purchasing power parity? Okay, it means equal value of money, a situation in which money buys the same amount of what goods and services in different currencies. Who doesn't understand? So PPP state that similar baskets of goods and services should have same price in terms of what currency. So if you want to measure the comparison of living standard, those in the UK to those in Ghana, if they are buying a particular commodity at 5 Ghana cedis, can we also buy, if they are buying a particular good at $5 as Ghanaians, can we also buy the same good at 5 Ghana cedis? So understand, they can tell you what is the purchasing power parity. It means equal value of money, a situation in which money buys the same amount of goods and services in different currencies. So that brings us to the end of these two first lectures. The balance of payments and then exchange rates. Any question? Any question? No question. Okay.
So, barrister.
Yes.
So, does it mean that if a country's currency is higher than another country's currency, their
Okay.
PPP will never be the same in
No.
all cases?
No, it won't be the same. So PPP refers to a fixed value for a particular commodity. So if it is 5 years, it should be 5 years. If it is $5, okay, somebody's hand is up. This one.
Yeah, yeah, very you see, you were like the purchasing power parity. It measures like two different currencies can purchase the same good, right?
Yeah, yes.
So here's a situation where I have $5, yeah, and I have maybe 10 Ghana cedis, but they both can purchase the same good. So in this situation, what do you call it?
So this doesn't follow. It doesn't follow what you call the purchasing power parity. Okay, I don't really
Parity,
know.
yeah.
It doesn't follow. So I don't know the other name for it, but then it's not purchasing power
Okay.
parity. Yes.
So unless
Purchasing
both,
power disparity.
okay.
Okay. Somebody has propounded a new term right now. Okay, somebody sign this up again. Oh, that was okay. So in that case, I wouldn't want to stress you. I want to end the meeting. However, Saturday evening, I repeat, Saturday evening, I have a paper, I have applied statistics on Saturday at 3:30. Saturday evening, around 8:30, you're going to have another meeting. Okay. By this time around, I'm going to make sure I finish the money and its function. And then Monday, we hold another meeting which will focus on just your past questions. And we are going to solve questions with you. We'll be throwing questions and you answer them. Besides, I'll be sending you questions in your, who is sending me message? Besides, I will send you questions in your DMs to try for me from now until you write your paper. So every question I take, I send it to you. Please pay attention, try it and send me the solution. I will not respond to
Barrister, please, some of the questions, send with the answers. Why?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hey, women.
Hey, what
Yes,
are
yes,
we
it's
made
true.
that?
Barrister, you see.
Barrister, we beg the theory
Uh,
questions. Please add the
barrister,
answers when you
Women
answer
there.
me the question.
Abi, it be so easy.
barrister,
So get headache.
barrister.
Yes.
Charlie, I like the way you are.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know how to say it, but Charlie, God bless you. Okay.
Amen.
I be my mommy in last baby. Like I get little sister. I will carry give you.
Amen.
Boys.
It's okay.
Boys, them boys. Thank you very
So,
much. Thank you very much for everything. Okay.
Amen.
barrister,
Charlie, stop
Yes.
bank.
if I have some questions on balance of payment, can I send it to you?
You can send it to me, yes, please. For now to tomorrow, I'll make time to answer most of your questions. But for tomorrow, I'm also preparing for questions. I'm also preparing for
Okay.
Barrister.
exams. So yes.
Hello.
Please, with the balance of payment, I
Okay.
came across something like reserve and this one, omission and error and omission.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were solving the question, or it was in the slide.
Like it was part of the like error and omission and I think reserve account.
Okay, I touched on the reserve about the error and omission. I'll look at it again. I've not seen that one. It's not in this slide. That's why I didn't touch on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Is the next question?
Barrister.
Yes.
With the balance of payment, I was also expecting to see with the balance of payment. I was also expecting to see something like balance of payment deficit and balance of payment of but you've not said something about it.
Your line is breaking. So, but I heard of balance of payment deficit.
Right. Hello, Barrister.
Yes, I only heard balance of payment deficit. I didn't hear the other part. Hello?
Yes, I said with the balance of payment, I was also expecting to hear something like balance of. Hello, Barrister.
Yeah, I'm listening, please.
Barrister.
Yeah, I'm
Barrister.
listening to you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Barrister?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that with the balance of payment, I was also expecting to hear something like balance of payment. Yes, with the balance of payment deficit, I was expecting to hear something like balance of payment deficit, balance of payment surplus, but I've not heard anything about it. Can you elaborate something small about it for us?
The mission has ended. Balance of payment deficit. I touched on it.
That way I can find the slide.
Barrister,
Yes.
with the balance of payment deficit here, can I say that it occurs when a country's receipts exceeds its payments?
Balance of payment deficit happens when you